This is bait. Life outside the federal witness protection. Whatever a Harlingen police officer said to Agent Trevino with U.S. Border Patrol in Harlingen, Texas, is still carrying over today. Hey, it's Susan. Welcome to today's episode of Life Outside the Federal Witness Protection Program. Glad to see you. Glad to have woken up this morning alive and breathing. But boy, you know what? There's always a little bit of organized crime. Okay, that's why I said, you know what? 4 years ago, Senator Harry Reid's Las Vegas office staff member Chavez Folger told me that they opened up an FBI investigation. And you know what? They've been hacking me like crazy. And I said, I swear I'm being used for an FBI investigation. And the FBI is retaliating harshly and cruelly. They're a bunch of fucking assholes. I fucking hate the FBI, and I've hated them ever since they let my son's father out of the North Las Vegas Detention Center without telling me back in 2005. I mean, I even tried to give him a couple second chances after that when he kept going after my son, but it seems like that they were being, you know, enabling my son's father rather than putting a stop to him. But that's nothing new with the FBI. They're negligent on everything. I mean, the reason why we have terrorist attacks in the United States is because the FBI knows about these criminals and they just sit around and wait for, like, you know, shit to occur like what just happened up in Boston, and then try to take credit for it later. I mean, I don't know if you guys, you know, this is a little aside from this, but I don't know if you guys have watched Congress bring the FBI to the table, like on the Boston Marathon attacks. You know, it's like you hear some members of Congress criticizing the FBI because they got information from foreign sources about, you know, the Boston Marathon bombers, or the fact that there was going to be an attack, or there were people that were known to be suspected terrorists, and the FBI blew them off. But then at the same time, you got other members of Congress, you know, praising the FBI for catching the criminals so quickly after the attacks occurred. Well, that's because they knew about it in the first place. And that's what the FBI does. They sit around and they just watch until they can get enough evidence to prosecute people. And the people die along the way. That's just what the hell they do. But that's how they work. And I know because I've lived this and my whole family's missing, you know. That's why I said they're a bunch of fucking assholes. But anyway, so here's how they're retaliating against me today based on Senator Harry Reid opening up the FBI investigation. Okay, I was, you know, practically kidnapped into a sex trafficking ring down there in McAllen, Harlingen, Texas last year. It was pretty bad. And, you know, the police left me on the streets initially, and I had stopped a U.S. Border Patrol agent when I saw one of their cars, you know, begging for help, and got it. You know, it was so embarrassing. I mean, can you imagine being a sex trafficking victim and then having to stop and ask somebody of that caliber for help? So it's awfully embarrassing to us as a victim. But Agent Trevino, he was so nice, and he's way cool. But, you know, I'll never forget when he called the Harlingen police. You know, whatever the heck this Harlingen police department said to Agent Trevino, boy, he was pissed. And I'm telling you, you would have to be there. I swear, I think he was going to just punch this cop through the phone. So, but anyway, so carrying on over from today. Now, oh God, when I was down there, I got a pre-employment physical from a company called True Staff. They actually paid for it through a clinic called the Valley Day and Night Clinic in Harlingen. Well, for whatever reason, the PA, the physician's assistant, the fuckhead, didn't put a date on the physical. Okay, now, you know what? Some of these other nursing companies in which I've had to apply for employment for are a little bit more picky than others, and they want to see the exact date on it. And one being this company that's out of LA. Okay, so that's fine. If you need the date on it, okay, that's fine. Well, I cannot get the Valley Day and Night Clinic to just put a, you know, a date scene on the paper. I mean, I've got the paper. It says Valley Day and Night Clinic. They know it was paid for. There's a PA that signed it, but they just need to put the date on it. So I called them today. And then apparently, you know, this chick is blaming it on her supervisor and some kind of crap like that. So you know what? Here's what I did. I just reported that into the Homeland Security Investigations tip line at ice.gov, and I just put carryover crime from Harlingen, Texas. I don't know if the police are, you know, doing something because they're pissed they got in trouble. I don't know if the sheriff's office is doing something. I don't know who's doing something. But, you know, if there's some, or if the FBI is pulling a trick, or if it's because the police were working in a conspiracy with this FBI task force to take me out because I had just had a fight with some FBI agent that called me out of Las Vegas, and I pretty much told him to fuck off. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but now, so here's the thing. I can't get employment right now through a nursing staffing company in LA because they want this date on this physical, and I can't get it based on a crap down in, you know, based on a bunch of crap down in Harlingen, Texas last fall. So, like, I tell people all the time, like, you know, nursing employment is just not working. It's not working because, you know, they find some way to affect my nursing employment. Delays in background checks, like that's what's going on right now with another travel company. I'm supposed to start an assignment in a week, and there seems to be an unusual delay in a background check, or they come up with some kind of crap, this paper needs a date, or they come up with something. I mean, I even told the Bethel, Alaska police, you know, that when I worked up in Bethel, Alaska, when these nurses that I was living with, this nurse and this radiology tech, were like treating me pretty much like shit. They were roommates of mine up in Bethel, Alaska. I told Officer Turner of Bethel PD they find some way to affect my nursing employment. And basically what it boils down to, I mean, it's payoff, bribes, scams, special favors. And it's, you know what, and it's like everybody's syndrome, and everybody wants to help the FBI task force. Why? Because the FBI task force is in trouble, with good reason, on many different issues, and then everybody's just getting paid off in the back end. I mean, I know that because I've lived that. And, you know, I've got a whole, you know, entire missing family, and there's other victim witnesses in this case. You know, a bunch of us, you know, should have been in Witsec 10 years ago. We weren't. You know, Eric Holder, he's a damn asshole up there. I mean, I've got one member of Congress named Louis Gohmert, apparently in his office, called me, wants to bring Eric Holder to the table on this. But you know what? It's like eventually all these, you know, all these people, they're going to eventually end up going to prison. You know, they're either going to go to prison on a state level, or they're going to go to prison on a federal level, or they're going to go to prison on an international level. Or they could go to prison in all three. They could be, there's so much crime. There's so much crime. I mean, hell, they could hit them, you know, forget that double jeopardy crap. They could hit them, you know, for tons of stuff that they've done over the last 10 years. I mean, that's why I say crime happens to me every day. So just pick your crime and prosecute it. And I mean, these guys can go down. These FBI agents, you know what, in California, you can face a death penalty. So anyway, that's this afternoon's episode of Life Outside the Federal Witness Protection Program. It's a very dangerous way to exist. You know what? And that's why I said I shouldn't even be working as a nurse. Shouldn't be working as a nurse, but right now I have no other way to support myself unless you guys want to help me out and shop through the iSues Fashion Galaxy Mall. So anyway, keep your stun gun handy. There's real terrorists and criminals out there. I'll see you next time.